We are walking around my house today because I want to talk to everyone. Hello! La la la. Nice Seinfeld reference there. Sir Owen Disney here yet again, and I am pacing around my house at 11 o'clock in the morning. You know why? Because I'm bored. And I thought, due to the fact I was bored and due to the fact that I have nothing to do today, needless to say, I thought I'd chat with all of you out there. So, hello everyone. Hopefully you're having a great day. And I'm having a meh day because it hasn't really started yet. But I do want to talk about what happened last night. Now, first off, there was the WDW Today Live podcast, which was always fun as always. Got to chat with everyone. Everybody in the chat room, all super cool people. Cannot wait for Reunion 2013. And you know, it's going to be amazing. Me and Will are going to have a blasty blast, to say the least. Plus, I've got September coming up soon too, so we are in the under 200 days category already, and my god, the time has flown by. It really has. And coming this Friday, provided everything doesn't change with my schedule, which who knows, it could change at the drop of a hat. I think it probably remains about the same. We're going to Athens to go see Stoker and Spring Breakers. So, the host, G.I. Joe, Stoker, Spring Breakers, just waiting on times now, folks. So, once we get that figured out, we're going to take care of that plan, and it's going to be awesome. And then we'll watch the next Tyler Perry movie, you know, Temptation, Confessions of a Marriage Counselor, or whatever it's called, on Saturday night. So, that's going to be awesome. And then Sunday is Easter, and Easter means time and a half. Time and a half means I make over $13 an hour, and that is awesome, and I cannot wait. But Mom is in Cleveland right now, and she will be in Cleveland until tomorrow night. I am supposed to, keyword supposed to, make my return to B-Dubs tomorrow night, and I will be there Wednesday night and Thursday night. I don't know what's going on right now. I haven't heard from AJ. I don't know if he's regressed back into sickness, or if he's just sleeping, or if he's just busy. So he could be doing any of those things, or he could be writing at this point, which also makes him busy. But needless to say, that is pretty much how things are going right now. I work tomorrow. I gotta talk to Alan later today to make sure I can get a ride so I don't have to walk in this. It's not that bad, but I don't like walking in the cold, and when you have rheumatoid arthritis, I'm using big words here, when I have my gout problems, I do not want to walk on it as much as humanly possible due to the fact that that actually helps not walking on it that much. Then again, I'm sure a doctor will tell me absolutely otherwise. But then again, who knows? So we are literally 2 weeks from WrestleMania, 2 weeks from yesterday, and we're going to be talking Monday Night Raw tomorrow, of course. But it's Monday, and I have to watch the Raw first, and duh, that's not till 8 o'clock tonight. So what's Monday? We're going to talk Celebrity Apprentice! And you know, last night we had another very surprising boardroom, and another person did not need to be brought back, was brought back. And it was all because everyone is scared of Omarosa. At least that's what we've been told numerous times. Oh, you're scared of Omarosa. Latoya's like, no, I'm not. I'm not afraid of Omarosa. Yes, you are. That's why you didn't bring her back. You brought back people that didn't need to be brought back last week. And that's why you got fired. But Mr. Trump will give me another chance. No, you're not getting another chance. You already got another chance before. You've been fired 3 times in your life. You don't need to be fired again. You're done. Done the party. I might see you for the finale, and that's the last time I'll see Latoya Jackson this season. So, we're going to kick off this night with an episode that aired last night. You know, once upon a time, Latoya Jackson, of all people, was skeptical of someone's grief over their recently deceased fiancé. That time? Last week. When Latoya, not to be outplayed or outgriefed by Omarosa, threw herself as far into harm's way as humanly possible. The gameplay got to her head, drove her absolutely mad. And Lisa Rinna tells Gary, who still doesn't understand why he is being called a distraction, to work harder, do more. Gary doesn't really comprehend what she's saying. So she is asked by him to tell him bluntly when he should be doing things without being told. Otherwise, Omarosa's on the warpath, and she basically said good riddance to LaToya being gone. And to start everything off, Stephen Baldwin, who was the winning project manager last week, visits his mom to drop off a check for her breast cancer research charity. Now, it's very important to play for charity, and it's very important to Baldwin that it is in his family. It is his mom's charity. Carol Baldwin is quickly convinced they will find a cure. I believe it's very possible. And, she also says Donald Trump is rather handsome and rather sexy, and he should give with her. Back in the day, she was a knockout that could give Trump's wife a run for her money. Okay, that went the wrong place really fast. So, once again, we see the red boots, and you know Farouk is in the house because the executives from Farouk Systems, are there once again, just like they were in last season. And of course, that marks out Lil Jon immediately because he knows exactly how to deal with Farouk. This week, celebrities are tasked with creating a traveling glass truck to advertise the Farouk Systems brands. Chi, which is the more established brand, and the new kid on the block, BioSilk. One per team. So this involves interaction in social media and the public, in some form. Creativity, brand messaging, overall experience, yeah, you know how this works. Claudia is picked to be the project manager this time around, with a little bit of prodding from Omarosa, as we find out later on, due to the fact that she's a frickin' model, and she would understand how to utilize hair care products. As she says later on, she basically said that she uses Chi every day, so why not be the project manager? Why not step up? So on Plan B, Mary Lou Henner takes it away. The prize for the task, $20,000 from Trump, $30,000 from Farouk, and $1 per Facebook like, up to 50 grand. So that's going to be really interesting to see how that works. So Team Power jumps on Chi right away. And Farouk comes in to tell them more about the products. Lil Jon is feeling confident, of course, because he won his challenge in last season. Farouk really likes America. Really like America. Farouk's really, really patriotic. And the Chi brand is beautiful American. That's his identity. Okay? So, America. That's right. Most of the team is on the same page for their campaign. You know, beautiful women, beautiful hair. Okay? Simple. Easy. Should work real easy. Dennis Rodman, however, he's over on Planet Charlie. He wants the truck to have a Ferris wheel on it. Yeah, I don't know how that's going to work, Dennis. The box is enclosed. It's not going to work. And he wants to bring in 3 homeless women. Homeless women just off the streets. And transform their hair using the products. This idea is really interesting. Very random. Might have worked. I don't know. Give 3 homeless people makeovers. That helps, I guess. I don't know. And I guess there were dogs involved too. So basically, Dennis Rodman's way of seeing things is, let's use Chi products to transform homeless women and dogs with a Chi branded Ferris wheel. Okay, sure. I don't like Planet Charlie. It's not a fun place to be. Planet Charlie is a comedy reference from a long time ago. There was a comedian that utilizes the term Planet Charlie, and basically Dennis Rodman is in another stratosphere, pretty much. That's what I'm trying to say. So over at Plan B, Mary Lou is working on BioSilk and puts Steven in charge of marketing. She's a good taskmaster, and she assigns Gary to being the only thing he cannot mess up. The accountant. So he gets to hold the bag of money. Simple, understated, that's it. So Farouk walks in, tells them about all 17 amino acids in silk. He basically sprinkles Mary Lou with the volume dust and makes her hair look absolutely crazy. Plan B is thinking the same lines. Beautiful women, beautiful hair. Bing! Miss USA pageant. Stephen Baldwin, proving how much of a toolbox he truly can be, yells on the phone while Mary Lou is on the phone with someone from the Miss USA pageant. Keeps saying, Does she know Matt Rich? Does she know Matt Rich? Does she know Matt Rich? And quickly we find out that Matt Rich is Stephen Baldwin's publicist. So, yeah. I don't know why he's such a goof sometimes, but that's how Stephen Baldwin rolls. It's not like we got Alec on the show. He doesn't take crap from no one. In the van, Claudia's mad Dennis won't do her rap brainstorming exercise, which still doesn't make any sense. Thank God it's over now. Oops. Spoiler. Even Brandy participates in this rap activity. They decide on this concept in the van. She wants you. Okay. Simple. Works really well. Very marketable. Could be a potential victor. And of course, Uncle Sam and America and apple pie and all the awesomeness about America. That's pretty much what it is. It's America and hair. And she wants you. So, Plan B's concept seems to be coming kind of out of left field. They want to turn the truck into a portable salon. So, let's do it up Hollywood premiere event style. Get red carpets and everything. Just make it all glamorous. Stephen Baldwin becomes very attracted to the slogan, "Live Life Luscious." Okay. You earned it, got Penn fired. Think about that, Stephen. Trace Atkins knows it's absolutely horrible, and in his wonderful way of thinking, Stephen says he lives in this world and Trace doesn't know because he's from the South and he washes his hair with lard. I wouldn't want to piss off Trace Atkins, not at this point, especially not at this point in the tasks. Live Life Luscious is just a mouthful of crap. And Trace just basically curses a bit and says, "Experience Silk." Okay. Everybody jumps on it because you don't screw with Trace, and this idea sounded good. At least for the time being. Over at Power, Claudia wants to do a photo shoot inside the truck. You know, hopefully after the product that they're promoting actually has been used in the hair. Omarosa, of course, isn't crazy about the idea, but she's looking forward to throwing Claudia under the bus in the boardroom, so she's down with it 100%. Omarosa and Dennis go out to the costume shop to go get costumes, props, and whatnot, and Dennis ends up with a wooden Donald Trump head from 1990, which, of course, he grabs and takes back with him. But that's the last time we see it, so I was surprised we actually didn't see it later on in the show. So basically, Plan B decides to utilize Gary Busey once again as a marketing tool, and they turn him into the Angel of Silk. They dress him up like an angel, and he basically runs around the crowd entertaining people, or kind of making them feel rather uncomfortable. Like when he was tickling people at Universal, it's just awkward. So Lisa and Trace go with him, because Gary cannot be left unsupervised at any time frame possible, to get the angel costume and the props. Omarosa and Dennis return about 4 hours later, supposedly, with only 4 things that they took off a very long list of props and different things for the task. Claudia's mad, to say the least, but first the celebrities need to have their pictures taken for the Chi brand messaging. Lil Jon as Uncle Sam? Thumbs up, that's all I gotta say. So, at the prop store, Gary Busey absolutely fails at being the accountant when he takes way too long. Lisa starts talking to Gary like he's a child because he's kind of acting like one, who should never be trusted with large amounts of money. He leaves it in the store, or at least he thought he left it in the store, but it basically just fell on the ground. And that's pretty much what happened there. So, Matt Rich comes through, Stephen Baldwin's BFF there, promising a bevy of beauty queens. Stephen volunteers to take credit for that, of course. Power is pretty sure they can get Miss Rhode Island, who won Miss USA not too long ago, given the fact that Claudia herself was a former Miss Rhode Island. As they print out pictures of themselves on a color printer, they receive the bad news. Their beauty queen is now working for Plan B. Omarosa immediately throws this as a critical error. But to make up for their lack of beauty, Team Power decides to swing in a completely opposite direction. celebrity impersonators with bad hair. So Brandy calls an agency via finding a website on the internet for celebrity impersonators. And it looks like an old Angel Fire website, which is kind of funny. And requests the only Donald Trump impersonator in New York. There's a problem. He died the day before this. Sad panda. Rest in peace, Donald Trump impersonator from New York. Omarosa calls this the worst thing I've ever heard in my whole life. Even though the fact that obviously wonderful editing was telling us for the last commercial break that it said Trump passed away yesterday. Of course, what we're supposed to think right there. Especially with everybody putting this over as this is going to be the game changer for the entire season. Editing. Gotta love it. So, instead, they go with a Joan Rivers impersonator to interview them coming off their red carpet. Okay? Omarosa calls some beauty queens in New York, and they go on their merry way. As Plan B sets up, something great happens. A woman in a passing vehicle rolls by. She rolls her window down, and she tells Gary Busey, "Gary, you got your suit dirty on the back." And his response, "I'm the Angel of Silk." And Gary Busey does not live on this planet, so there we go. But it was funny. The Bio-Silk truck intimidates Team Power. They're working on promoting Chi. The day of the event, they still need to pick up everything, minus of course 4 costume pieces and the wooden Donald Trump head. Over at Plan B, Penn is juggling fire, because he's awesome, and Penn is going to win this season, mark my words. Steven suggests someone start putting up the rest of the silk for the designated area and gets in a little tiff with Mary Lou, of course. She notices real quick Trace is busy and says no one else is as tall. Looking right at Penn. Okay, that makes sense. Then she runs toward the beauty queens, getting distracted momentarily. So basically, Steven decides in that instant Mary Lou's going to get canned if they lose this task. Omarosa notices the other team has stylists inside their truck, whereas her team has the area of the photo inside the glass truck and not the salon. Omarosa quickly points this out to Claudia as something to reconsider at the last moment, or of course just to cover her behind the boardroom. "I don't know I expect to go back into the music business with any shred of dignity," Trace says after he climbs to the top of the Bio-Silk truck with a guitar. And Celebrity Apprentice isn't entirely about winning one's dignity back, as anyone knows. The Bio-Silk experience doesn't have much cohesion. A country singer on top of the truck, Gary acting as the Angel of Silk, Penn Jillette juggling, and Miss USA standing next to someone getting a makeover. Power's Chi experience is at least somewhat cohesive. America! Pageantry! And a kind of Jack-looking Joan Rivers impersonator. My god, she looked ugly, and her impersonation was terrible. I wish Joan would have been the person that showed up at the event instead, because that would have been really entertaining. Dennis Rodman's having a blast mingling, and he kind of forgets his place, and he ends up going over to the Bio-Silk gang with some Miss USA girls. So the advisors arrive. Mary Lou kind of gives a half-assed explanation of their experience. She's wearing a crown, just to make her look extra insane. She's like the Bio-Silk queen. Over at Chi, Arsenio and Don Jr. talk to the Joan Rivers impersonator. Claudia tells Don Jr. Brandy is the MVP of this task, and that Dennis and Omarosa will be returning to the boardroom with her if they lose. Then, of course, we get Facebook links for us to help the winning project manager by liking the pages. So, go to Facebook and check that out if you get a chance to. Facebook.com/ Bio-Silk Hair Care, I believe is what it is. So, to vote for Plan B, because obviously I don't like Power, for obvious reasons. Excuse me. So Farouk comes in, and he confirms, yes, he loves Uncle Sam. Farouk also loves Dennis Rodman, who of course is sporting glitter on his lips. And Dennis pretty much mumbles about Chi products when he kind of asks him a blatant question, kind of an easy question, and Dennis kind of mumbles through it. Claudia tries to regain control of the guided tour, but kind of falls flat. Stephen Baldwin noticed Farouk and his son walking towards the truck, so he alerts Mary Lou, smartly, to its presence. Now Mary Lou is kind of annoyed having this heavy, spectrum-dwelling mosquito in her ear, so she continues to wander around aimlessly, just talking to other random people and not the advisors for the task. So basically, right before they're about to run into Gary Busey, which would have been a huge problem, of course, luckily they're redirected and they go over the experiences afterwards with Don Jr. and Arsenio. A lot of paraphrasing is used. I noticed Claudia Jordan's team had little John dressed up as Uncle Sam. Farouk, was that good or bad? Farouk likes everything because he likes America and that's all that matters, and he just wants to put his product over for 2 hours. I have no problems with that. In the boardroom, however, Donald talks to Claudia and her team first. They think they won, remark how Brandy is learning to hang out with everyone else better. They're getting along as a team, finally. So on. So Don Jr. asks Claudia to repeat who she called out as being the weakest players on her team. Omarosa seems surprised and offended to be lumped in with Dennis. Omarosa overvalues trips to the prop room. On the other side of the coin, Mary Lou says everyone is strong, but Gary is still the weakest. Gary calls Mary Lou an incredible and inspiring project manager. Steven is pretty much really quick to disagree. He compares Mary Lou to Gary, as she reacts just as Omarosa did while being lumped in with with Dennis and Omarosa. Steven, don't you know that Mary Lou is the furthest thing from distracted? She's too busy remembering absolutely everything. But she struggles to give Donald an answer when asked who she'll bring back when if they lose, asking why they might have lost. That's a good way to not answer a question that actually made sense. Don Jr. tells Plan B the executives thought the slogan Experience Silk was a bit banal, which I'm sure Farouk did not say. Steven puffs up a bit more as Trace has questions about the slogan. As a result, Mary Lou says she'd bring back Gary and Trace. That's the right answer, given the fact that what Trace did, he was still one of the main parts. He was partially to blame for the task losing because what they lost on mainly would have been his slogan. So it makes total sense. So on Power, the executives love Lil Jon in his Uncle Sam getup, and She Wants You to Be Beautiful slogan, because Farouk loves America. That's how it works. But they thought not enough was going on inside the glass truck, so of course Omarosa is going to get a pat in the back for realizing, duh, right there. Trump announces Plan B has won this task, and Mary Lou reminds us that her charity of choice is for Alzheimer's research. So that makes complete sense. And I'm happy for Mary Lou to win, because it's another win for Plan B. So Trump announces after this that someone is going to be fired. Obviously, they're going to send Plan B back to their suites, and somebody from Power is about to be fired. So the question is Claudia going to punk out and not bring Omarosa back? So Omarosa was supposed to be brought back for the last 2 weeks, and of course, the last 2 weeks, she doesn't get brought back. But after doing a little bit of detective work, I realize she does get brought back next week, and it's going to be awesome! I don't think she's getting fired. I pretty much know who's getting fired, or I figured it out. So, I think it's going to be great. But, yeah. So, basically, Omarosa supports Claudia's charity and wanted to win for that reason. Claudia's upset because they don't have any, entertainers on their team, like singers or fire jugglers. Hello, Lil Jon. Granted, he can only say 3 words in his rap vernacular, but he's got some talent, so give him that. He is an entrepreneur. I mean, Lil Jon knows what he's doing. Not to chide him at all, but he's a world-famous rapper. I don't understand why they're saying they don't have any entertainers on their team. They got Dennis Rodman. He's a basketball player, so everybody else is kind of there. So, I don't know. Yeah, Power is kind of light-handed when it comes to being entertaining. So, I guess that's how it works. For now, until we switch up Power in the next episode. But I don't really want to talk about spoilers for that because of the people that might be watching, other than the fact that I just kind of blew the fact that Omarosa is going to the boardroom next week, but yeah, sorry AJ, if you were watching this, and I'm sure you probably were. And anybody, I'm sorry about that, but that's what's going to happen next week. Anyway, basically, Omarosa brings up the fact that, yes, at the last minute, she did decide, hey, let's bring this stuff into the truck. Let's bring the salon experience into the truck instead of just bringing it outside. And Claudia's like, no, it's already taken care of. Don't worry about it. It's all right. It's okay. It'll work just fine. Nope, didn't work. So, Claudia brings back Dennis. Duh. And Lil Jon. Once again, everyone's scared of Omarosa in the boardroom. Who is going to have the guts to bring her back to the boardroom? Lil Jon next week. But anyway, who's going to do it? Honestly, doesn't make any sense. God, I want this woman fired. She's driving me insane. And I'm sure Power don't want her on the team either. But then again, I know she's going to go a long way. So I know she's not winning, but I know she's going to go a long way. So we'll sit back and enjoy the reality television show aspect of this program. Now, of course, Lil Jon did the best, and the executive said that, but they brought Lil Jon back anyway. So, on that statement alone, I would just fired Claudia right on the spot. And then said, okay, fine, because you guys are so insolent, I'm gonna fire Dennis too. So we'll fire 2 people in this episode. And that would have changed the teams up a bit, like they were saying it was going to. But no, that did not happen. Basically, Trump tells Claudia to her face, Lil Jon has less than a % chance of being fired. So basically, Don Jr. says Claudia must be afraid of Omarosa like everyone else in the world believes at this point, having admitted earlier she was the other weakest player. Claudia asks if she could change her mind, and Trump and Omarosa of course say no. Omarosa just wants to get the hell out of the boardroom and get away from danger, because that's pretty much what she's in right now. Claudia asks Lil Jon to help her so they can both stay. So they're basically banding together to try to get rid of Dennis Rodman. Quote, because he's dead weight and they need to get him fired. But the fact, Lil Jon says, and it's very true, Trump likes him way too much, or likes what he's doing way too much in order to fire him at this point. So it probably wouldn't have worked. So back in the boardroom, Donald tells Arsenio and Don Jr. it's not looking good for Claudia, and talks about her reasoning for bringing Lil Jon back. Lil Jon makes a very interesting case for Rodman. He says everyone is important, Dennis is showing up every day, sober, and he's ready to work. His only problem, he might just be doing less than everyone else on this rapidly dwindling team. Claudia brings up the rap brainstorming exercise, as though it even matters. It somehow comes up Donald, the impersonator, died, and basically Donald says, he was a good guy, I should go to his funeral. Okay. You're a jam-up guy, Donald Trump. Welcome to the 2013 WWE Hall of Fame. So Trump starts giving Claudia the speech, and we start hearing the music, and the music's starting to get more powerful and more powerful, and Dennis pipes in to defend Claudia. Donald interrupts him saying, yeah, it wouldn't have mattered if Omarosa was back here and all. Claudia, you're the project manager. You failed. You're fired. And it's over. So Claudia seems relieved and happy as she gets in the limo, and it drives away. Next week, you know, honestly, we're going to talk a couple of things for next week, and I'm going to reveal what the task is going to be. Actually, the task next week is going to be an interactive 3D experience, and I don't know what that's going to mean. It's going to be like an art experience, and your project managers for this task are going to be Lil Jon and Lisa Rinna, and who knows what's going to happen. Actually, I know, but who knows what's going to happen when they butt heads and someone from Plan B is going over to Power to even things out, because Power is dropping like flies. And it's going to be interesting to see how that person interacts with Power as a team. We're going to see some interesting stare downs between this new person and Power. So, look forward to that next week. And once again, thank you guys for watching. And thank you for giving me a lot of hits. I'm trying to hit 5,000 by the end of 2013. I think it's possible. I'd love to be able to get some more subscribers. So folks, if you like these videos, you want to see more, tell your friends and get them to subscribe. Subscribe yourself. And I'm going to talk, of course, WWE Raw tomorrow night before I go to work, as always. And until tomorrow, That's all I got to say about that.